This is the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. Is it better than ever? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I have borrowed this all new, fully redesigned top to bottom, front to back, and for the most part within the interior, everything has changed. 2024 version of the Hyundai Santa Fe. And while there's a lot of people out there who are saying that it closely resembles a particular model, in particular, let's just say what it is, the Land Rover Defender, I actually am not going to agree with that. I think it looks more like the Kia EV9. Tell me what your thoughts are. One way or another, this model looks really good in my personal opinion. Is it perfect? Well, nothing is, but let's dig in and see exactly what we have with this particular model. I don't know for sure what its status is going to be by the time I publish this video. Check the link in the description of the video just to see, in case you want to come in and talk to somebody at Mike Morgan Hyundai and maybe buy this model. If you're somebody who says, you know what, I really like some boxy lines, well, this is definitely the vehicle for you because that's what you have. But there still is some aerodynamic going on here as far as helping out with a little bit of airflow. You have some nice lines that are more rounded here. You will also find active air curtains. That's going to be this area right here. So that's going to allow that air to flow through the front end. And so it is going to reduce drag, help to increase aerodynamics. That's a good thing. Now, here's what we have. LED lighting literally everywhere we look. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and by no means can you mistake what you see right here. That flickering effect, by the way, has to do with my camera. It's not really happening. It would be kind of cool if it were, but that H that you see here, and that's not the only place where you're going to see that. And you can tell by the sensors here on the front end that there obviously are a lot of safety features here. Now, one thing, I started the engine in hopes that the active air curtains, or excuse me, the active grille shutters would actually open and close right here, but they're not doing what I want them to do. Maybe we can make that work later in the video, but that is there. By the way, we also have lighting here. And if you look at the gloss black in a few different areas here, it seems to be well balanced. I hope it's going to hold up in driving conditions because it does tend to show damage more than what you're going to have with a matte black or flat black finish. Although I do like what we have up here with the upper grille area. A very nice look. The Hyundai logo prominently displayed. And really, I'd say for the design of the vehicle that the hood looks just right, especially this center section. It's large, but it seems to be right. Now, this particular model is front-wheel drive. You can get all-wheel drive if you so desired. Let's talk about tire and wheel size. The width will be 255. We're going to have a 45 series sidewall and wrapped around the 20-inch wheels. Tell me what you think about the look of those wheels as we move up. Now, one thing I would like to have seen here is to make this functional. It's just cosmetic. It looks nice, that's for sure. I like how it kind of breaks up what we have right here. And when you look at the fenders here, you'll notice that the surround, again, really just sets things off. It's better than having a completely flat fender. And I am glad that this isn't all gloss black. That's good. I think that would be maybe a bit much. I think the gloss black is in the right places on this model. But when you look at the lines, well, it just seems to flow just right. A little more gloss black here on the A-pillar. That seems to be in the right place. It doesn't continue all the way up to the roof. And the body colored mirror caps, and I don't know how well you can see it. I can go over here to the other side and give you a much better view. But you do have the turn signal indicators built in. They are power adjustable side view mirrors. They're also power folding. That's a good thing. And we'll take quick advantage of the bright Louisiana sunshine today to show you what all is here on the remote for 2024. Right there, the main thing I know a lot of you like to see on your remote, and that's going to be remote start. Nice tall windows all the way around. That's a good thing for being able to see, especially for the driver. Works very well. Again, a little bit of that gloss black in a couple of different areas. If you had darker tinted windows, it would almost look like one continuous window from a distance. And we'll also have the roof rails up there as well. Always a good thing to have. And as we work our way around here to the rear, we're going to see that the rear LED taillights mimic what we had on the front end with the headlights. Looking very nice, very prominent, kind of a bold, but yet a little bit of luxury in there at the same time. And I like the clean look of what we have going on back here with the lack of a rear window wiper, or should I say an exposed rear window wiper, because it's actually here inside of the rear roof spoiler. Again, really we have that kind of contrast of a very boxy look, but yet some good lines that will help provide not only for a good sharp look, but aerodynamics. Now, if I was going to sound the gong on one thing here on the exterior, it would definitely be the fact that there's only one exhaust pipe back here. I think that would just balance everything out better here on the rear and just make it look better. Tell me what your thoughts are. Under the hood of this particular model is the 2.5 liter turbocharged four-cylinder. It makes 277 horsepower, 311 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. And I often think when I hear that, opposed to what? A dry dual clutch transmission? I don't know, kind of interesting. And how about the MPGs? 20 miles per gallon city, 29 highway, 24 combined, and 4.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And you have a 16-gallon gas tank. Let's open that door and show you one thing that I think a lot of people will like, because it seems that a lot of people are not fans of capless fuel fill, but that's not what you have here. Okay, let's take a look at what we have as far as usability goes. Start with the cargo area back here. Now, before we dive into numbers, here is your power tailgate. Now, you might notice that doesn't open very high. Well, let me show you something, and you probably already know this, but I bet there's one person who doesn't. So notice I've raised it all the way up to its full capacity as far as how far it will open. How do you make it stay that way? You hold that button down until you hear the beeps. Just like that. Now, while that's coming down, let's talk a little bit about cargo capacity. 14.6 up to 79.6 cubic feet of cargo capacity. That's not very useful to you, is it? And by the way, that did open all the way, as you see right there. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what the cargo capacity is, or tell you in inches instead of cubic feet. The width of this opening back here is 43 inches. You're looking at a 33-inch height, and then we're looking at about 14.5 inches from where the rear seats are to where the rear door closes back here. Now, obviously, you can put these rear seats down, and we're going to increase cargo capacity the first way possible, which is a good thing. Let's see how much that is. We're gonna have a couple of numbers here. Width-wise, we're looking at 54 inches in this area back here. That's gonna decrease with the fender wells that are ultimately right here that are used for a couple of different things. Obviously, you also have your cup holders up here and all of that, but that will be 43 inches, and then will be 44 inches from the rear of the middle row seats to back here where this area closes, or where the door closes to. Now, a couple of interesting notes to point out, and I'm going to give you the rest of those numbers in just a second here. Here is your space underneath the floor. There are the tools to change a tire. That means you do have a spare tire. It is not a tire repair kit. That's good news. So what happens there is the tire is located underneath the vehicle. Very easy to deal with. And real quick, just because we're back here, I'm going to show you how everything works with the rear seats as far as how you fit and space back there, or how people will fit back there, maybe a better way to put that. There is a power outlet right here, and that can be used with these seats down to kind of make things easy for tailgating. USB option, and obviously there is an air conditioning vent back here, and we'll see the same thing over on this side. And there is a 12-volt power outlet over here. So quite a bit going on, and when you want to lower those seats right there, let's do one side. All we do is push the button down. Now, those are not power up or anything like that. They release when you push the button, but you'll have to manually raise those back up. And you're going to have a little bit of a variation when you get into the interior, but because I know people like to ask about the height, once you get beyond this point, it does increase to 35 inches. I guess you could go up into that area where the sunroof is if you wanted to. It'd be kind of hard to finagle things up there. I guess it could be done. 43 inches from the back of the middle row seat all the way back here. And then if we measure to the front seats, at least where the driver's seat is set right now, with that seat folded down, we're looking at 79 inches of length or depth. And obviously that can vary a little bit depending on who's sitting in the front seat and where those seats are positioned. And because it's another popular question, yes, these third row seats do recline. And let's take a look into the interior and see what your second and third row passengers are going to find. Nice materials throughout, that's for sure. That seems very sturdy. It isn't cheap when you listen to that. Let's see if I can give you a sound bite. That doesn't sound cheap. That's a good thing. And you don't have gloss black here. That's a nice thing as well because you don't have to worry about fingerprinting up and all of that. How about the armrest comfort level? Well, that actually is very well padded. It's not hard plastic. You put your arm up there and be comfortable for a while, at least I think so. And you can see right here, heated seats as well on these outboard seats. Cup holders and really kind of a bottle holder down here, I'd say, more than a door bin, but it could be used for either one. Now, I don't think this is realistic, but just so you can see what the possibilities are, here is the potential for rear seat legroom. This is how far these seats can move up. Both of them do. There's just a release right here, nothing unusual. And we'll push the button right there and the seat will get up and out of the way. I'll have to push that up just a little bit more. There is seating for two back here. And I will pull the seat back. Now, here is my leg space with the seat all the way back. Now you will notice that I moved the right side seat back a little bit. So it's not as far forward as it's capable of going. And yet, let's see here, I still have plenty of leg room right there. So that's a good thing. And let's see, let me get every hair in place. Kind of hard to do, it's a little windy today. But here's what I have headspace wise. Now it depends on where I put my head. If I lean over too far, I don't have a lot of headspace there. So that's what we have where that is concerned. Pretty easy to deal with, and the button right here on the top will get the seat back up and out of the way, obviously. And one thing you might have noticed earlier, I wanted to show this to you from this vantage point. What is the dial for right here? That is obviously for the air conditioning, and you can adjust the fan speed with that. One thing I will say that does help a little bit with space back here and being comfortable is reclining the seats. And yes, we do have the front and rear sunroofs here. You have a power shade for the rear sunroof, which it's kind of interesting. It almost seems backwards to me. Maybe not to everybody, but you have a manual shade for the front sunroof. Almost seems like it should be the other way around. But I don't know, maybe not. Now, nothing unusual where the rear seat pockets are concerned. Really nothing unusual right here with the drawer. Kind of hide that away and put things in there. Not that unusual to see USB ports in the seat backs right here like this. But one thing that is a little bit out of the ordinary is that the center console opens from two different directions. Check that out. Kind of an unusual thing. Obviously, I can open that from the front as well, but a very interesting thing. Now, you do have your air conditioning vents, obviously, in the pillars right here. What do you think about that? Obviously, the angle can be changed. That's really better than having them down here on the rear of the center console, I'd say, but it might be even better to have them up here in the roof. And then the oh crap handles, in case anybody wants to exercise that all-powerful 2.5 liter four-cylinder that's under the hood. But those are there if someone wants to grab onto them. A lot going on here. We're not finished yet. Let's check out the front seat. And I have one thing to tell you about that maybe you don't know about yet. And that one thing that I was going to tell you about, if you've watched previous videos on the new Santa Fe from the auto shows, well, pricing wasn't known yet at most of those shows that I know of. Here, on this particular model from Mike Morgan Hyundai, $45,145. Let's see what else you get for that price. Same materials, Very comfortable armrest, a little larger here on the front doors and a little more space within the door bin. Power seats for the driver and the passenger. And if you're wondering, where do I sanitize my phone? Right there. Very interesting thing to have. And let's open the glove box right here. Kind of an interesting way to open that. Plenty of space within, that's for sure. Now I need to get back out and show you the pass-through right here. Quite a bit of space there as well. There is a 12-volt power outlet right there, so a good bit of space. You're going to have quite a bit going on here. You also have wireless charging. Very spacious interior, by the way, overall. Cup holders, and from this particular angle, there is what you have with the center console. Very interesting to be able to open that from two different angles like that. And with the upper console, what do you have? Well, there you go. Obviously, you can control the functionality of the power shade for the rear sunroof and the tilt and slide feature for the front sunroof. And obviously here with the driver's side door, you probably know what all is here. Just a few extra controls and switches. Obviously a couple of settings for seat memory. If you're looking for your power parking brake, there's where that is. You can open and close the lift gate or tailgate back there and turn traction control on and off if you so desire to do so. And we will take a quick look here into the interior as far as the 12.3-inch instrument cluster and the touchscreen right here. That is a touchscreen, by the way, in case you were wondering. And one thing I really like here about that is that it's angled towards the driver. So very focused, very wide, very nice, clear graphics. Quite a bit going on where that is concerned. So that's a good thing as far as that goes. Your steering wheel mounted controls easy to deal with. You can use the paddle shifters here to work your way back and forth through that 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. And over here on the left-hand side, you can control your headlights and taillights, turning those on and off. You can turn that on to auto if you want to. And the vehicle also comes standard with this. This is why it's cool to use your blinkers with this model. With all the cameras on the vehicle, when you turn on your right side blinker, you're going to see into your right blind spot. And the same will apply to the left. Nothing unusual with Hyundai, but just something I thought I would show you that is here in case you were wondering if it is on this particular trim level. And the control right here for your front and rear window wipers. And here is your shifter. So all you're going to do, this is how you control the functionality. We go into drive like that, and then we turn it back to go into reverse, and also right there, push that P to go into park. Now I will go back into reverse here just because it will be very easy to show you what we have with the different views with the cameras. You see the overhead view right there? That is nice and convenient. There are multiple views here, obviously. And for less than $50,000, I know that's a high price point regardless, but in this day and age, maybe not as bad. Guess what else you have here? You can also take a look around the vehicle. Earlier, I mentioned in the video that this is, some people are saying that this looks a lot like a Land Rover Defender. Well, it has some of the same features as the Defender does too. Again, nothing new with Hyundai where that's concerned, but some great features. Very easy to learn setup here, very easy to use. And you also will find that you have your heated and ventilated seats. So that is nice. We don't need our heated seats today, but you have 3 stages of each. We're going to turn the air on because it actually is going to be warm today in the 70-degree range. And here is your wireless charging pad. I mentioned that earlier. That's where that is located. Quite a few nice features here, that's for sure. A very updated interior, very nice looking interior, some nice changes. A few things are somewhat the same, but for the most part, a full redesign. What do you think about the design of the overall look of the dash? I think it looks, well, appropriate for this particular model. Tell me what your thoughts are. Okay, here we go on our test drive. So what is it like to drive this new Santa Fe? Well, the ride quality seems to be good by my estimation. I do like to always point out the fact that you really need to drive these vehicles for yourself based on what I'm used to with my own daily driver. Well, I kind of filter everything through that. So I think it's fine. I think it does well. The handling is good. It's not sports SUV-like, high-performance SUV-like, but it's not meant to be. That's part of the reason why you have a comfortable ride quality. The seats themselves seem to be comfortable, but again, the caveat on that is I haven't spent enough time in these seats to tell you what it would be like on a long road trip, even just an hour or two out on the road, but not too bad overall. And one thing that did surprise me a little bit, and one little trick to a turbocharged engine like this, is that when you ease into the pedal to accelerate, it might surprise you. That's what I did earlier. I needed to get up to speed to merge into traffic, and it was a little bit of a surprise. It wasn't exactly what I would call neck-snapping performance. However, I was actually very surprised at what the experience was like as far as getting up to speed. Overall, very enjoyable to drive. Now, let's talk a little bit about technology here. Nothing unusual with Hyundai. The technology here is easy to learn and easy to use, easy to figure out. I think you could use what I call the hunt and peck method and you'll be just fine. Overall, an enjoyable vehicle to drive. For what it is, it definitely gets the job done. Has a good price point for what it is, I believe. And going back to something I said earlier in the video, you have these nice tall windows, everything being squared off as it is. That is beneficial in visibility. Very easy to see out of, but don't forget, we looked at those cameras in the side view mirrors that make for a very easy situation when it comes to turning on your blinkers to change lanes when you're driving down the road, because you can see into your blind spot so well. That's a good reason to do that. If you're not using your blinkers with technology like that, tisk tisk. Okay, tell me what you think. Is the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe better than ever? And while I have the opportunity right here, we talked about those active grille shutters. Well, they're open right now. I didn't get to show you that earlier in the video, but there they are. A lot of changes here. Really looks nice. I think it does. What do you think? Is this something you plan to buy for 2024? Maybe come into Mike Morgan Hyundai and take a look at one. But like I said earlier in the video, I don't know for sure if this model will be available by the time I drop the video. Somebody is coming in about an hour and a half to look at it. So tell me what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Mike Morgan Hyundai for loaning me this Santa Fe for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.